You might see a small ant and think it's harmless, but looks can be deceiving. These tiny creatures are tougher, deadlier, and more organized than they seem. Once they strike, even the strongest predators stand no chance, and you're about to see exactly why. A lone praying mantis found itself in the wrong place at the wrong time, completely surrounded by an unstoppable swarm of relentless ants. The mantis fought desperately, striking out with its razor-sharp forelegs, but the sheer number of attackers was overwhelming. The ants worked as one, biting and tearing into their prey with ruthless efficiency. Within moments, the mantis's fate was sealed. It was consumed piece by piece by the relentless army. A massive roach scrambled across the forest floor, but its movement did not go unnoticed. A group of huge ants locked onto their target, their instincts driving them to hunt. The roach twitched and kicked, struggling with every ounce of strength, but the ants were merciless. They overwhelmed it with sheer numbers, sinking their mandibles into its armored body, tearing it apart in a gruesome display of teamwork and hunger. A black scorpion, armored and armed with a deadly stinger, should have been safe from most predators. But when an army of ants set their sights on it, survival became impossible. The scorpion lashed out, trying to skewer its attackers, but for every ant it struck down, more swarmed over its body. It was a battle it could not win. Slowly, agonizingly, the ants tore into the scorpion's flesh, leaving nothing but an empty shell. The struggle was hopeless from the start. A crab, slow and vulnerable on land, was no match for the relentless assault of countless hungry ants. The armored crustacean snapped its claws wildly, trying to fend off the invaders, but there was no escape. The ants climbed over its shell, finding weak spots, biting and tearing away at the helpless creature. In the end, the crab was consumed, its struggle nothing more than a brief delay to the inevitable. It was an unbelievable sight. A snake, powerful and dangerous in its own right, utterly helpless against an army of attacking ants. The writhing reptile twisted and coiled, trying to shake them off, but the swarm was unrelenting. The ants covered its body, biting and injecting their venom. The snake's movements became sluggish, its fight slowly draining away. Soon it stopped moving altogether, defeated by the tiny but deadly hunters. Another snake, smaller yet just as doomed, found itself under siege. It thrashed wildly, hoping to escape, but the ants showed no mercy. They flooded over its body, sinking their jaws into its soft underbelly, consuming it from the inside out. There was no savior, no chance of reprieve. The snake's desperate struggle ended in silence as the ants claimed yet another victim. In the brutal world of nature, no predator is ever truly safe. This snake thought it was the hunter, but it became the hunted. A swarm of relentless flesh-eating ants engulfed its body, biting, tearing, and overwhelming the serpent in an inescapable nightmare. It writhed, twisted, and coiled in agony, but there was no escape, no mercy. Every attempt to break free only invited more ants onto its scales. As exhaustion set in, its desperate struggle faded into stillness, and the swarm claimed another victim in the unending cycle of survival. This snake had successfully snatched a bat, expecting an easy meal, but fate had other plans. Before it could enjoy its prize, an army of vicious ants attacked. The sudden assault was overwhelming. Thousands of tiny jaws bit deep into the snake's flesh, forcing it into a frenzied retreat. The pain, the chaos, it was too much. It no longer cared for the bat. All it wanted was to escape. As the snake abandoned its catch, the bat took flight, disappearing into the night. But the ants were not so easily shaken. They remained locked onto their target, swarming and biting, determined to bring the serpent down. A praying mantis, armed with razor-sharp claws and lightning-fast reflexes, should have been able to fight back. But this was no ordinary enemy. The swarm of ants moved like a single, unstoppable force. The mantis struck, slashing wildly, but for every ant it crushed, dozens more took its place. The tide of attackers crawled up its limbs, biting, stinging, tearing at its joints. It thrashed, stumbled, and tried to break free, but the relentless onslaught never slowed. Exhausted and overpowered, the mantis collapsed, its once powerful body now just another meal for the merciless swarm. The yellow crazy ants had found their next victim, a red crab. It tried to resist, snapping its claws, but the swarm was relentless. Crawling over its body, biting into every soft spot, the ants drained its strength. The crab's movement slowed, then stopped. In the battle of numbers versus power, the ants had won again. Deep in the rainforest, another crab suffered the same fate. Army ants swarmed its body, searching for weak spots. The crab fought back, but the relentless bites drained its energy. Slowly, it succumbed, its once powerful claws falling limp as the ants tore into their prize. A spider, swift and deadly in its own right, found itself overwhelmed. Surrounded with no escape, it reared up in a desperate attempt to fight back, but the ants climbed its legs, biting deep. Its struggle was brief. Within moments, the spider collapsed, its body motionless as the swarm devoured it. In a brutal clash, ants battled termites in an all-out war. The termites defended their colony with everything they had, but the ants were too many, too ruthless. They tore through the defenses, overwhelming their foes. The battlefield was soon littered with termite bodies. The ants had claimed yet another victory. In the ruthless world of insects, strength alone is never enough. Time and time again, the power of the swarm proves unstoppable, whether it's a snake, a crab, a spider, or even an entire termite colony. Once the ants attack, there is little hope for survival. Their numbers, coordination, and relentless hunger make them one of nature's most efficient killers. In the end, no matter the size or strength of their prey, the swarm always wins.
Did you enjoy this video? Please let us know in the comments section down below. And don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And please, turn on your notifications bell to get notified when we upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.